If you live in Nairobi, it is easy to forget that such a serene place exists, a place where the air is cleaner. Just a few kilometers away from one of the largest cities in Africa lies Karura Forest, a natural solution to Nairobi's escalating air pollution crisis.
Air pollution is the presence of certain chemicals or certain particles or certain living organisms in the air. Those chemicals are breathed in, and when they are, several processes can go on. All these processes lead to a kind of reaction in the body, and that reaction is called inflammation. So you find some people will start sneezing, they start coughing, they start having chest tightness, chest pain, wheezing, and pain in the chest. And these are immediate reactions. On the other hand, there are long-term reactions. Here we are talking about conditions like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. We are talking about cancer. These are conditions which can occur after long-term exposure to this condition, to these environmental pollutants.
The World Health Organization estimates that approximately 19,000 people lose their lives in Kenya annually due to air pollution.
Air pollution does have, apart from health, it does have a lot of environmental impact because even if it goes to the air, at the end of the day, it ends up on the ground, washed down by rainfall or just settles down with particulate matter. So some of the risks we see is once the emissions are emitted in a city, some of them go through atmospheric processing and they are converted to mostly acidic component. Now that is for maybe Nairobi Game Park or the forest around the city, then they are experiencing a lot of this acidic rain and that does have impacts on how plants grow, the water the animals drink and all that.
Karura Forest acts akin to a human lung, absorbing pollutants.
Karura forests play a very good role in air purification, controlling air pollution by trapping particles from the air, by giving out oxygen. It is also helping in regulating the microclimate. The richer a place is in terms of biodiversity, the better the ecosystem services that are offered. While the trees play a very good role in trapping particles from the air, and when you look around, some of the trees you'll find they have other plants growing on them and called moss. They play a very good role in trapping particles from the air, but at the same time we need to be mindful that if the particles become too much or if the pollution becomes too much, then the trees may be overwhelmed and end up getting affected in a negative way.
Karura Forest, being a forest within the city, gets a lot of carbon, so we wouldn't like to add more carbon into the forest by having motorized or petrol or diesel machines within the forest. So we use e-motorbikes, which are noiseless, they don't emit any carbon, and they are eco-friendly. We must stick and do as much as possible. We stick to non-carbon emitting motorcycles or even vehicles. Well, on the side, look at it, it's a bit cheap to have a running a motor, and if we are continuously replacing the old motorbikes and also encourage our staff to go for the e-motorbikes to reduce carbon. You need to set an example that we don't want more carbons into the forest.
Experts advocate for an integrated approach to mitigate air pollution, advocating for electric mobility.
For a lot of the African countries, they look at job creation. So these are opportunities for job creations. Charging infrastructure, another opportunity for job creation. Local energy, a saving for the country, because instead of importing oil, we have sustainable electricity, renewable electricity. For example, Ethiopia, 100% of the electricity is from renewable sources. In Kenya, it's 90-something%. Why don't we use what we have instead of, using unsustainable fossil fuel? And you charge at night, and that's why you see like Kenya Power company is very, very interested in electric mobility. You've seen them actually doing the launches and all that. They're very, very interested. Why? We are wasting electricity at night. When everybody goes to sleep, all the power is off. So we are not even consuming that. It's going to waste. They're not able to store it. So how can they tap into that? So it's a win-win for everybody. So definitely, it is something that we look forward to.
Numerous initiatives in Nairobi push for electric vehicles and sustainable transportation, like this company manufacturing electrical bikes.
Electric bike is very fun, it's easy, and it's a lot more simpler than riding the conventional bikes, because there are little less moving parts, and your bike can actually last 50% more. That is the lifespan of the bike and the structural integrity of the bike itself, because now we don't have any vibrations on the bike, we don't have engines, and also the cost of maintaining the bike also is cut by 80%. You only do 20% of maintenance on your bike, because the motors we use are maintenance free, the batteries are also maintenance free, the controllers are very robust and they're supposed to last for up to 5 years with no damages, but the battery too is also supposed to last for 5 years depending on the cycles that you have. The motor also is supposed to last for 5 years. If a bike is using petrol, after combustion, that is, and now it's moving because power has been generated by the engine, that is. Now, the emissions that are produced by the petrol bikes directly affect air pollution, because now that is what causes air pollution itself. But with the electric bikes, there's no combustion, there's no engine. We're just using a motor and a battery. The battery just powers the motor, and the motor starts rotating. Now we just harness the power that is in the motor and make the bike move. So there's no carbon emissions to the environment. There's no pollution, there's no air pollution.
Beyond clean air, e-mobility offers economic advantages and job creation.
I think that for Africa, it's going to be important for us to define what electric mobility can really do for us beyond the CO2 emissions. Electric mobility has the potential to actually transform really the way that we live, the way we do business, the way we move. It's not just about transportation. It really goes beyond that. It's about transformation of our cities, of even our rural areas, right? It's really a lot more about the bikes. It's a lot more about the fact that they're green. I think it's an excellent thing, and I think focusing on having a cleaner environment is definitely what we do as well. But I think one has to look beyond that to see seeds for greater prosperity for the people who actually need it.
E-mobility aligns with Kenya's climate change action plan, reducing emission by 32% by 2030, contributing to a cleaner environment.
When I come to Nairobi, what strikes me so special is the common challenge that we face in the global south. I come from India, and I know what the air pollution challenge is. We also have the experience to show that, once you allow the pollution to grow very high, how tough it is to bring it down. Even though the problem is big and it is growing, but from our experience, we know there are bigger opportunities in Africa and Asia today to be able to do things differently and prevent the problem from growing worse. because we do have that opportunity. So this is the opportunity for us, and if we can make this happen, and all the best practices that we are seeing in Nairobi, Kampala, Lagos, your BRT systems, your electrification, and that I see is a much bigger opportunity, because as long as we were locked in the internal combustion engine, we were not able to improve the technology. But electric vehicles allow you to do that, and already so much of startups have come, and you're already manufacturing an electric vehicle is emerging as an industrial policy in Africa. So let's look at that strength and take this forward to be able to breathe clean air, protect public health, and be on a low carbon pathway.
Cleaner transport slows down climate change by reducing pollutants like black carbon, which hit the planet. Envisioning a future with green-covered buildings, electric vehicles, and well-designed infrastructure for cleaner air and reduced noise. Chemtai Kirui reporting for CAST TV in Nairobi County.